Welcome to Agrabah, the city of mystery and magic, and home to Aladdin, a young man whose life is forever changed by a magical lamp. First released by Disney in 1992, Aladdin is a classic that undoubtedly marked the childhoods for many of us. I mean, who could forget its famous soundtrack, A Whole New World? But before we dive deeper into this adventure, let's take a moment to get to know its characters a little better. Let's begin with Aladdin, better known as a street rat by the palace guards who often steals to survive. But despite his reputation as a thief, Aladdin has a heart of gold and is always willing to help others no matter what. Next, we have Princess Jasmine, a beautiful and free-spirited girl who dreams of exploring the world. She's intelligent, loves adventure, and always follows her heart in every decision that she makes. Genie, the blue magical being who makes all your wishes come true. With a vibrant and joyful personality, he's always cracking jokes. Genie is the best friend that you could imagine, not only for his advice, but also because he's always ready to help. The magical wishes are a nice touch too. And finally, we have Jafar, the villain of this story. Jafar is ruthless and will do whatever it takes to get what he wants. He's completely unfriendly and constantly manipulates or hypnotizes others to serve his own purposes. Now, without further ado, let's get started. The first movie opens with Aladdin and his loyal hairy companion Abu on the run from guards, a familiar scene for them as they constantly steal to survive. After managing to escape, Aladdin notices the arrival of a new prince who has come to ask for the princess's hand. But when he sees the prince acting arrogantly and treating some children very harshly, Aladdin steps in to defend them. Despite his bravery, he's belittled as a mere street rat. Exhausted from being treated this way, he and Abu return home, where Aladdin promises his friend that one day things will change. They will have a better life.
There's so much more to me.
On the other hand, Princess Jasmine is also having a hard time, as the law requires her to marry a prince before her upcoming birthday, which, by the way, is in 3 days.
You've got to stop rejecting every suitor who comes to call.
Jasmine doesn't agree with this absurd rule. She wants to marry for love, to be free to choose to explore the world and the people around her. She wants to be a normal person, and sometimes wishes she had never been born a princess. The Sultan, worried about his daughter, turns to Jafar for guidance. However, what he doesn't know is that Jafar isn't someone that you can trust. Jafar constantly hypnotizes and manipulates him without his knowledge, as his goal is to become the new Sultan of Agrabah. Back to Aladdin, he's out of the village with Abu, stealing as usual, when he suddenly spots something in the distance that undoubtedly catches his attention: the most stunning girl he's ever seen. And she's in trouble. He rushes over and rescues her from an angry vendor who's upset because she gave an apple to a hungry child without paying. Aladdin then takes her to his home to enjoy the view of the palace. As they talk, they both seem to feel the same way. They feel trapped in their worlds. Do I see some sparks flying? However, their conversation is quickly interrupted by the guards, who take Aladdin with them under Jafar's orders, despite Jasmine commanding them to do otherwise. Back at the palace, Jasmine goes directly to Jafar and asks about Aladdin. She's furious about the way that he was treated, but when she finds out that Aladdin has received the maximum penalty for allegedly kidnapping her, she breaks down in tears.
The boy's sentence has already been carried out.
What sentence?
Death.
What Jasmine doesn't know is that Aladdin is fine, that Jafar only brought him to the palace with that excuse, as Aladdin is the chosen one to go after the magical lamp that Jafar desperately needs. In the dungeon, Aladdin learns that the beautiful girl that he helped was actually the princess, but also gets intrigued by a story an old stranger tells him about a cave full of wonders. The old man, who's really Jafar in disguise, convinces Aladdin to go with him, and together they head towards the cave.
It's a cave, boy. A cave of wonders, filled with treasures.
The plan is for Aladdin to retrieve the magical lamp, and in exchange, he can keep all the fortune inside the cave. Aladdin enters without hesitation, and despite seeing huge mountains of money, jewels, and many other wonders, he stays focused and goes straight for the lamp. Along the way, he and Abu discover a magic carpet, which to their luck shows them where the lamp is. Just as Aladdin grabs the lamp, the cave begins to collapse, all thanks to Abu trying to snatch a few jewels. Hey, they were really colorful and shiny. Aladdin, Abu, and the carpet desperately try to reach the exit before the cave buries them alive. However, when they finally get there, the old man demands Aladdin give him the lamp before helping them out. Not thinking too much of it, Aladdin gives it to him. But of course, it's all just a trick, and the old man leaves them for their impending doom. Fortunately, Abu, being quick on his feet, swiped back the lamp just before they get trapped.
What is it?
No.
Aladdin tries to examine the lamp, as he doesn't understand why this object was so important to the old man. He gives it a little rub, and to his surprise, a genie appears and grants him 3 wishes. Aladdin? Flabbergasted. And I mean, who wouldn't be? It sounds too good to be true. The genie then explains everything Aladdin needs to know about wishes and how they work. However, Aladdin remains skeptical about these supposed powers, and the genie, slightly confused, decides to show him what he's capable of by getting them out of the cave.
And the carpet,
Essentially, he's just tricked the genie into letting them out without using a wish. Clever Aladdin. Very clever. Meanwhile, back at the palace, Jasmine and Jafar have another awkward encounter when Jasmine tells him that when she becomes Sultana, she'll fire him. Jafar gets furious and realizes he must act fast to secure his power, so he decides to marry the princess himself. Once out of the cave, Aladdin makes his first wish, to become a prince.
Genie, I wish for you to make me a prince.
hooray!
As his intention is to see Jasmine again. Isn't that romantic? It's very sweet. After some magic, a new outfit, and a grand parade full of people, animals, and music, Aladdin, or rather Prince Ali, finally arrives at the palace. A grand entrance that undoubtedly leaves the Sultan very impressed. But Jasmine doesn't seem interested. In fact, when she overhears her father, Jafar, and Prince Ali talking about her, she becomes upset. Hoping to talk with her, Aladdin decides to visit Jasmine on her balcony with the magic carpet. However, Jasmine is not interested. She asks Aladdin to jump off the balcony, as she doesn't want to see him. Aladdin does just that, but he floats back up, leaving Jasmine in shock and asking how that's even possible. After some persuasion, she joins him for a ride on a magical carpet.
Do you trust me?
Yes.
Where they sing A Whole New World, definitely one of the film's most iconic scenes. The ride makes them grow closer to each other. Not only that, Jasmine soon realizes that Prince Ali is the same guy that she met in the market. Aladdin has no choice but to tell her the truth. Well, sort of, since he doesn't deny being a prince. Back at the palace, Jasmine and Aladdin end the date with a kiss, something that sends butterflies to Aladdin's stomach, as it seems that the girl of his dreams feels the same way about him. His happiness is short-lived though, when palace guards, under Jafar's orders, capture him, tie him up, and throw him into the sea. I mean, he can't become Sultan if Jasmine marries Aladdin after all. Luckily, the genie is with him, and after seeing him drowning, he doesn't hesitate to save him. Meanwhile, Jafar continues with his plan, and after hypnotizing the Sultan, he forces him to order Jasmine to marry him. Jasmine, confused by her father's behavior, doesn't understand what's happening, until Aladdin appears and exposes Jafar, accusing him not only of attempting to kill him, but also of manipulating the Sultan through hypnosis.
Oh my.
Your Highness, Jafar's been controlling you with this.
With no way to defend himself, Jafar has no choice but to escape. However, as he flees, he notices that Aladdin has the magic lamp, so he quickly devises a plan to steal it. With the help of his small henchman Iago, Jafar successfully steals the lamp and makes his first wish, to become the new Sultan of Agrabah.
Genie, grant me my first wish. I wish to rule on high as Sultan!
But when he sees that Jasmine, Aladdin, and the Sultan don't obey his orders, Jafar decides to make his second wish, to be the most powerful sorcerer in the world. By doing so, Jafar not only forces the Sultan and Jasmine to serve him, but he also exposes Aladdin's secret of being a street rat, not a prince, exiling him to distant lands. Fortunately for Aladdin, he's exiled along with the magic carpet, so it doesn't take long for him to return. Back at the palace, as Jasmine distracts Jafar, Aladdin tries to retrieve the magic lamp so he could restore things to normal. However, Jafar catches on and not only traps Jasmine inside an hourglass, turns Abu into a toy, and unravels the magic carpet, but also transforms himself into a giant snake, determined to finish off Aladdin once and for all. I mean, that is ultimate bad guy stuff.
Like to see how snake-like I can be!
Aladdin doesn't give up, and quickly comes up with an idea. He convinces Jafar to wish to become the most powerful genie of all. Sounds kind of contradictory, right? Well, Aladdin's plan works perfectly. By transforming into a genie, Jafar becomes a slave of that power. He's bound to the lamp and can only grant wishes to his masters. In short, he's lost his freedom and will serve others for eternity.
You wanted to be a genie? You got it. What? And everything that goes with it.
With Jafar locked inside his lamp, everything returns to normal, and Aladdin even uses his last wish to free the genie. But the story doesn't end there. After seeing his daughter so deeply in love with Aladdin, the Sultan decides to break the old rule that she can only marry a prince, allowing Jasmine and Aladdin to be together and live happily ever after. After all, love always wins. Moving on to the second movie, The Return of Jafar. It begins with Aladdin recovering all the jewels, money, and treasure that some villains led by Abiz Mal had stolen.
That's mine.
Meanwhile, Iago, along with Jafar, who, by the way, is still trapped in his lamp, managed to dig themselves out of the sand where they had been buried. However, tired of following Jafar's orders and taking advantage of the fact that Jafar is trapped, Iago decides to get rid of him and flies to Agrabah to finally be free. Good on him, that was a toxic friendship. Back in the city, Iago spots Aladdin and immediately approaches him. Knowing that to be welcomed at the palace, he must convince Aladdin that he's changed and can be trusted. At first, Aladdin isn't thrilled to see him, but he decides to give Iago a chance after the parrot helps him escape from Abyss Small and his henchmen.
Thanks for your help. You saved me.
I did? Right!
However, before allowing him to stay in the palace, Aladdin needs to speak with Jasmine and the Sultan. Meanwhile, Abyss Small finds Jafar's magic lamp and unknowingly frees him. Upon discovering that Jafar is a genie, Abyss Small grows excited, realizing that he now has 3 wishes. Although Jafar is furious about having to follow orders, he agrees to do whatever Abyss Small asks.
You shall have your wishes.
On the condition that once his wishes are granted, Abyss Small will help him return to Agrabah for revenge on Aladdin. Upon hearing this, Abyss Small decides to save his final wish and agrees to help Jafar, as they both share a burning desire for vengeance. Talk about a dynamic duo. Back at the palace, Jasmine, the Sultan, Aladdin, and the Genie are having dinner, when the Sultan offers Aladdin to be his royal vizier. However, this special moment is interrupted when Iago shows up, as the Sultan and Jasmine immediately order to capture him as he's considered a traitor, just like Jafar. Aladdin tries to defend Iago, explaining that he's not as bad as they think, and in fact even saved his life. He then asks the Sultan to give Iago a chance, and the Sultan agrees, but with one condition. Aladdin must supervise him at all times, and take full responsibility.
And if the bird makes one wrong move, you shall be the one I pluck, boy!
Finally, Iago gets to stay at the palace, and after noticing how Aladdin stood up for him, he now feels indebted to him. He knows that Jasmine is furious with Aladdin, so Iago decides to intervene and help them reconcile. While Iago succeeds in getting them to make up, Jafar, with the help of Abyss Small, arrives at the palace and notices Iago helping Aladdin. Instead of feeling anger or betrayed by his old henchman, Jafar views the situation as the perfect opportunity. He believes it will make it even easier to take his revenge, knowing that Iago has earned Aladdin's trust. Although Iago isn't pleased to see Jafar again, he's intimidated by his power and reluctantly agrees to help. Iago convinces Aladdin and the Sultan to take a ride on the magic carpet, leaving the Genie behind at the palace so Jafar can deal with him first. When the Genie realizes Jafar's presence, he tries to stop him, but Jafar's powers prove stronger, trapping the Genie inside a glass sphere. Meanwhile, Iago takes Aladdin and the Sultan to a beautiful spot. But just when everything seems to be going great, Abyss Small and several of his men arrive and take the Sultan hostage. Of course, Aladdin quickly realizes that it was all a trap set by Iago. With the help of the magic carpet, he rushes to rescue the Sultan, but he's unable to, as Abyss Small uses powerful magic to stop him. Back at the palace, Jafar imprisons the Sultan along with the Genie, Jasmine, Abu, and the carpet. Meanwhile, Aladdin is captured by the palace guards and sentenced to death, accused of murdering the Sultan. Filled with guilt, and knowing Aladdin's fate, Iago decides to intervene and help him. While Jafar, disguised as Jasmine, visits Aladdin in his final moments, Iago manages to free the Genie, thus preventing Aladdin's terrible fate.
Thanks for saving me.
After freeing the others, Aladdin decides to confront Jafar and stop him once and for all. To do so, he must destroy Jafar's magic lamp. However, that's no easy task. Despite the help of the Genie, Jasmine, Abu, and the carpet, Aladdin fails to reach it. But just when it seems all hope is lost, Iago intervenes, surprising everybody by being the one to destroy Jafar's lamp. Without a doubt, the hero of the night.
I thought a genie couldn't kill anyone.
You'd be surprised what you can live through.
Don't you just love to see a good redemption arc? Next up is Aladdin, the King of Thieves. It's a special day in Agrabah, as it's the wedding of Aladdin and Princess Jasmine. The entire town is heading to the palace, bringing hundreds of gifts to celebrate the soon-to-be married couple. Both Aladdin and Jasmine are excited, though Aladdin can't help but feel a bit nervous, knowing that after this day, his life will completely change. He'll no longer be a street rat, and will finally have the family that he's always dreamed of. Everything seems to be going perfectly. The Genie is handling the decorations, Aladdin and Jasmine are glowing with happiness. It's just a really great time. But just before they can seal the deal and say, "I do," the ceremony is interrupted by a group of thieves who cause chaos, after frightening elephants and making everybody run in search of shelter. These thieves turn out to be none other than the infamous 40 Thieves, who take advantage of the confusion to steal all the wedding gifts, jewels, money, precious vases.
They fight like demons.
Worse than demons. These are the 40 thieves.
Nothing is left behind. Aladdin, noticing that one of the thieves is alone, tries to stop him, but he fails and the thief escapes. However, Aladdin discovers that this mysterious man is actually the king of the 40 thieves. And for some reason, the only thing he wanted to steal was a golden staff. After the thieves have left the palace, Aladdin reunites with the others, curious to discover why the staff they wanted to steal was so important. As he examines it more closely, a spirit in the shape of a woman suddenly emerges from the staff. It turns out that the object is an oracle, an artifact with unimaginable powers, with unbelievable capabilities, otherworldly potential. Anyone who wields this staff can, wait for it, ask it one question.
I am bound by the rule of one. One question, one answer.
Well, on paper, it's pretty mundane, but in all reality, the Oracle is all-knowing. So in a way, you're tapping into a lexicon of knowledge through this staff. The Oracle is just limiting how much. It's pretty cool. It's cool stuff, just trust me. After hearing this, Aladdin realizes he must ask about his past, though he feels overwhelmed by the many questions that he has. The Oracle suggests that he speak to his father, as he will be able to answer everything Aladdin wants to know. When Aladdin learns that his father is alive, he's stunned and hesitates, torn over whether he truly wants to see him. After all, if his father is alive, it means that he abandoned him. However, after some reflection with Jasmine's support, Aladdin decides to ask the Oracle for guidance to show him where to find his father. The Oracle's answer leaves him shocked. His father is with the 40 thieves. Aladdin follows the thieves to their secret hideout, and upon seeing his father, he doesn't hesitate to approach him. Both Aladdin and his father Kasim are astonished to see each other. Aladdin is not only thrilled to have found him, but also shocked to discover that he's the king of the 40 thieves. However, the other thieves are not pleased to see him, as Aladdin now knows way too much about them in their hideout, so they sentence him to death. Kasim, knowing he cannot break this rule, suggests a better solution. Why not have him face the challenge?
The boy could face the challenge.
You see, the challenge is simple. Aladdin will have to face Saluk, one of the biggest and strongest thieves in the group. However, this is not going to be just any fight. Only one of them will leave alive. Aladdin, scared but determined, faces Saluk in an intense battle. Though the fight is challenging, he manages to win by pushing Saluk off a cliff into the ocean. The other thieves, along with Kasim, surprised yet filled with admiration, accept Aladdin as the newest member of their group. What they don't know is that Saluk is alive. Meanwhile, Kasim shows Aladdin around the hideout and reveals the reason he didn't return home. He's been searching for the legendary Hand of Midas, an artifact that turns everything it touches into gold. He explains that he was looking for it to provide a better future for his family. He even confesses to Aladdin that in fact he returned to Agrabah but was unable to find him, nor his mother, so he assumed that he had lost them forever. Aladdin understands his father's reasons. After all, this whole franchise kicked off with Aladdin stealing and hoping to create a better life for him and Abu. So Aladdin asks Kasim to return with him, assuring him that he doesn't need treasure. He only wants his father by his side. Aladdin even invites him to the wedding, expressing that all he truly wishes is for his father to be part of his life and present on his special day. He hesitates, as he feels he doesn't fit in that world. But after hearing Iago mention that the Oracle works and is still in the palace, Kasim agrees to go.
Probably just another dead end.
It works! That's how the kid found you! It knows everything!
Not wanting to miss the chance to finally ask his question to the Oracle and fulfill his long-awaited dream of finding the treasure. Meanwhile, Saluk also returns to Agrabah to seek revenge on Aladdin and Kasim. To do this, Saluk goes to the palace guards and reveals the location of the 40 Thieves' hideout, as his plan is to have them locked in the dungeon. Wow, this guy's a pretty sore loser, huh? Back at the palace, after a makeover by the Genie, Kasim meets the Sultan and Jasmine, who warmly welcome him. Aladdin couldn't be happier. Everything seems to be going great, as both Jasmine and the Sultan seem to have a good impression of him. However, just as the ceremony is about to start, Aladdin realizes that his father is nowhere to be found, preventing the wedding from beginning. Soon, they discover what happened. The guards caught Kasim trying to steal the Oracle again. Upon hearing this and discovering that Kasim is the king of the thieves, the Sultan is deeply shocked and has no choice but to imprison him in the dungeon.
Father, isn't there another way?
I'm afraid there is not. Take the prisoners to the dungeon.
Though devastated, Aladdin refuses to let things end this way, and quickly comes up with a plan to free his father from the dungeon. His plan is simple: free his father and take his place, giving Cassim time to escape while the guards chase Aladdin. He sets the plan in motion, but a guard discovers him. Just when it seems there's no way out, Cassim appears, helps Aladdin, and together they escape the city. Once in a safe spot, Cassim urges Aladdin to go with him, as they're now both considered traitors in Agrabah. But Aladdin obviously refuses to leave Jasmine behind. Cassim, with the oracle in his hands, also decides to go his own way, leaving Aladdin disappointed. Meanwhile, Saluk returns to the hideout of the 40 Thieves and convinces them to turn against Cassim, claiming he was the one who sold them out to the guards. So when Cassim returns, he's met with a surprise. Everyone is against him, and Saluk is taken over as the new leader. Cassim is quickly captured and forced to ask the oracle where the legendary Hand of Midas is located.
The Vanishing Isle will appear at dawn. I will show you the way!
Once with this information, Cassim, Saluk, and the others head to the famed Vanishing Isle. Meanwhile, Iago, who is with Cassim this whole time, breaks free and rushes to find Aladdin for help. After convincing him, Aladdin heads to the Vanishing Isle, which, by the way, is on top of a giant turtle. But he doesn't go alone. Jasmine, Iago, Abu, and the Genie all come along, and while they take care of the other thieves, Aladdin searches for Cassim. Upon finding him, and after an intense fight with Saluk, Aladdin manages to rescue his father. Together, they set off toward the legendary Hand of Midas. When they finally find it and test its power, both are overjoyed. However, their happiness is short-lived when Saluk arrives and demands the Hand of Midas in exchange for not harming Aladdin. Cassim, realizing he has no other choice, decides to hand it over. However, what Saluk doesn't know is that anything the golden part of the hand touches turns into gold. Sure enough, Saluk touches it and transforms into a golden statue. This allows Aladdin and Cassim to escape just in time, before the island sinks back into the depths of the ocean. Once in a safe spot, Cassim decides to throw the hand into the ocean, as now he knows that his greatest treasure is already by his side. Back at the palace, Aladdin and Jasmine finally celebrate their wedding. Although Cassim is still considered a thief in Agrabah, he doesn't miss his son's ceremony, and watches from afar. After the beautiful wedding, Cassim, along with Iago, decide to continue their journey and seek for new adventures, but not before saying goodbye to the newlyweds, who are happy to build a new life together. And that is how this incredible saga comes to an end. However, we do have to mention the 2019 live-action Aladdin movie. Although it's just a remake of the first Aladdin movie and follows the same plot, we couldn't wrap up this recap without highlighting some of the most well-known faces that were part of the cast. Will Smith, who played the Genie, Naomi Scott as Jasmine, and, of course, Mina Massoud in the role of Aladdin. Say what you will about Disney's live-action remake craze, it's still cool seeing these beloved characters come to life in the modern era of movies. And now, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this recap as much as I did. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment which one is your favorite movie from them all. Thanks for watching. We will see you all next time. See ya!